From the Cardinal Television studios, I'm Justin Gould with Fisher News Brief. The Buffalo Bills beat the San Francisco 49ers 45-16 on Sunday, but all eyes were on the controversial Colin Kaepernick as he yet again kneeled during the U.S. anthem. Kaepernick spoke at a post-game conference Sunday regarding his shirt that paid respect to Muhammad Ali.
To pay homage. He was someone that he fought a very similar fight and, was trying to do what's right for the people. And for me to be able to have someone like that come before me is huge. And he is someone that helped pave the way for this to happen. And what he did and what he stood for, people remember him more for that than they do as a boxer. And I can't let him die in vain. I have to be able to try to carry that on and try to fight that same fight until we accomplish our goal. I don't understand what's un-American about fighting for liberty and justice for everybody, for the equality that this country says it stands for. To me, I see it as very patriotic and American to uphold the United States to the standards that it says it lives by. That's something that needs to be addressed.
Hillary Clinton leads 2 national polls ahead of the last presidential debate, while more allegations of sexual assault against Donald Trump surface. Kim Hutcherson reports.
With the final presidential debate just days away, 2 new polls released this weekend have Hillary Clinton leading Donald Trump nationally among likely voters. The NBC News and Wall Street Journal poll has Clinton with an 11-point lead in a 4-way race with Trump, Libertarian Gary Johnson, and the Green Party's Jill Stein. But the ABC News and Washington Post poll has Clinton's lead within the margin of error by 4 points.
I have always said this was going to be close.
The reason why you see the resilience in our numbers around the country, the reason why you see such determination of the American people is frankly, people see an overwhelming bias in the national media.
The media has been a recent target of Trump's, claiming it's rigged and pushing false allegations. This as another woman, 63-year-old Kathy Heller, stepped forward Saturday to accuse the business mogul of unwanted sexual advances, according to the Guardian newspaper. The Trump campaign has denied those claims. Heller says Trump kissed her without her consent at his estate in Florida nearly 20 years ago. Democratic VP nominee Tim Kaine believes the reason why so many women are coming forward now is because of Trump's response to the Access Hollywood tape during the second presidential debate.
As soon as he looked folks in the face and said those were not my actions, that was essentially the invitation to people who knew otherwise to come out and say, wait a minute, I've had an experience with Donald Trump.
He made it clear that it was just talk, not actions.
I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Iraq soldiers aren't fighting ISIS alone. They're backed up on the ground by special forces from America and elsewhere, not to mention the massive hammer of international air power, some of which comes from the sea. CNN's Frederick Plekin got rare access to a French aircraft carrier to find out how the view against ISIS looks from there.
As the French aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle ramps up its operations against ISIS, with Rafale fighter jets frequently taking off and landing from the Mediterranean Sea, the actual air operations are only a small part of the activity on this massive floating airfield. Specialists perform maintenance day and night to keep the jets combat ready, the officer in charge tells me.
It is the key to success. To be autonomous at sea and to have a long deployment, we need to have exactly the same capability that when we are on the land.
Around 2,000 people work on the Charles de Gaulle, many of them in the massive hangar bays.
Simply running a ship like this and its air wing is challenging enough, but of course it becomes even more demanding in times of combat when the crew runs an intense operation 24 hours a day.
And those operations require constant resupplying, much of which happens at night, when cargo vessels come alongside the carrier with food and jet fuel. Nighttime is also when the planes are outfitted with new munitions, 500-pound laser and GPS-guided bombs.
The crew is trained for this, so the only difference we have is the quantity of bombs we have to gather and to deliver. That's the only difference.
The Charles de Gaulle's crew is constantly looking for ways to work more efficiently to keep up the pressure on ISIS, its captain tells me.
To be able to work as good as possible between the air wing and the carrier. So that means a very fluid and very easygoing launching and recovery mostly, and also all the ammunition and maintenance process.
With 24 Rafale jets, the Charles de Gaulle is a major weapon in the fight against ISIS, with its crew working day and night to make sure they're ready to strike at any time. Fred Pleiken, CNN, aboard the aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle in the Mediterranean Sea.
And it didn't take an accountant to see which film topped the weekend box office. David Daniel tallies the top 5.
Deepwater Horizon dropped 2 spots to 5th place, earning $6.4 million. $8.9 million put Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children in 4th place.
I really wanted a baby.
Emily Blunt and The Girl on the Train lost the top spot, landing in 3rd place with $11.97 million.
Dead! Wi-Fi's down.
The concert film, Kevin Hart, What Now?, just managed a 2nd place debut, grossing $11.98 million.
How did you get into financial consulting?
Department of Labor statistics indicate it's one of the fastest growing professions.
The Accountant had the numbers. The twist-filled thriller starring Ben Affleck opened on top with a strong $24.7 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And that's all of today's headlines. I'm Justin Gould with Fisher News Brief.